Welcome back to More Than Peaches Gaming. I'm your host Mune, and today I want to talk to you about an ongoing problem that is existing in the game of Neverwinter. So, as many of you know who have been playing on a variety of platforms and have noticed that uh, the Astral Diamond Exchange, also known as the Zen Astral Exchange, uh, abbreviated ZAX in most contexts, but in this game it's just called the Astral Diamond Exchange. So, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the high value of Zen at the moment, mainly because we have an upcoming sale, which is the 5th anniversary sale. Everybody's in anticipation for it and so forth. But let's take a quick look here and see what it is currently at. Okay, gotta wait a moment. It is currently at 497, as you can kind of see. I was told by a variety of sources that on the PS4 we have, you know, one of the most fluctuating markets. So, how did we get here? Okay, is the bigger question. Some people speculate that it's people who, create 80 out of nowhere and exchange it for Zen is the problem, or players who hoard Zen are the problem, which can very well be the case. But the other problem that lies in it is who is typically uh, buying Zen. And the simplest answer is everybody. Everybody contributes to it because there is a issue with not enough money in game to garnish things like, I don't know, VIP and the ongoing onslaught of sales as well as people getting coupons. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, as many of you know, every single week we get a sale. Sometimes it is a good sale and people need those things, and other times not so much. And depending on the sale, depends on how much the Astral Diamond Exchange goes up. Well, when you have a situation where you know that there's going to be a sale very, very soon, and it's going to be a massive sale, Zen starts rising. Everybody knows that Zen is rising. That plays this game, that's been paying attention. So, I've seen sales sometimes twice in a month for key sales. Key sales are one of the major contributors of, actually, raising Zen. Because people want to buy keys because they see the advertisements in the bottom left corner advertising it. Wait, what? How, how did I lose that? God damn it. Alright, so one of the other contributing factors is why. Why is it going up so erratically, especially all the way up to 500? The sales couldn't be just the cause. Well, there's other things than just the sales. Okay? There's also the player mentality of why should I pay real money for something that I could get for free? And again, that is the major problem when you look at this game is who is buying all the Zen. There's a lot of people who buy Zen for a lot of different reasons. Some people buy it so they can buy keys. Some people do it so that they can... Okay, that's getting annoying. So that they can do other things with the Zen. Like, I don't know, buy their VIP, buy other services, possibly even buying, buyout campaigns so they don't actually have to run content. I've seen people do that. There are those that want a quicker mount because they they want to keep up with all their friends and are very unlucky to the point where they don't have enough money or resources to get their hands onto a legendary mount. And then there are others that want to upgrade their stuff, like they need preservation wards or even coalescent wards. And sometimes it's cheaper to get it from the Zen market rather than having to be at the mercy of the auction house or luck. And I know some people have mentioned on Mod 14 we're getting a totally revamped system for the refinement bonus RP event where you can earn preservation wards, which sounds awesome, but at the same point, you can also earn them just by simply logging in every day, you know, and getting your hands onto one of the items from the Vault of Piety, which the Vault of Piety is here, and then you go to Celestial Synergy, and you can grab stuff like these, which they give preservation wards, coalescent wards, or paradox. So you have a chance for a preservation ward or a coal ward if you're really lucky. Unfortunately, I'm not so lucky when it comes to getting that kind of stuff, so that's why I generally don't bother. But I still try to log in for that chance. You know, I've collected quite a few, and hopefully we'll be lucky enough to get more. Give me a second. Okay, I am out of materials. Alright. So, when will it actually come back down? That is the biggest speculation that people are concerned about. I speculate right at the moment, because that's what this is speculation, is that when Zen goes up to 500, which it will reach 500 within probably the week, we are going to be looking at a major problem, which is nobody's going to be able to get their hands on Zen unless people are willing to sell it for 500 AD apiece. The problem with it is that the biggest speculation is how long will there be a drought of Zen on the Zen market? We're still almost a month away, and we still don't have like any idea what's going to end up happening. Like we have no idea how many oops, I want to make sure that this one's completed. It looks like it is. Okay. We have no idea how long it's going to last. And that is the biggest concern a lot of people have is, will it last long enough that my VIP will run out? For some players, it might. Other players, it most definitely will. And others, which I have ran across a few people like this, who have, like 13 years worth of VIP. And so they're not worried at all. And with the more recent chance of problems that's going to be occurring with VIP, and the entire market, we will be looking at a major issue with people trying to just get access to that, especially with the drought of AD in the market. 100,000 AD is what I make easily in a day, just actively trying. That's not even using all of my characters, okay, which I have 8 characters. But since I don't have that many characters, I try my best to try to make sure that I spread around the AD and I get it. Like, I think I was doing my math today. I haven't even ran my epic dungeon yet today. And yet, I have enough for about 90,000 like 92,000. If I run my epic dungeon, which I'll just look here real quick in my queues. Oh, I can't look right now. I'm in the middle of siege. It's roughly about 7 to 9,000, which is about what I would get. It's what you would expect I would get, should I say, for all of this. Oops, I thought that was an engineer. um, so some people have speculated, oh yeah, that'll definitely drop Zen prices if we just eliminate the amount of Zen that's out, or the amount of AD that's out there. The problem is that there's a lot of AD already out on the market that it doesn't really do anything. Okay, and yes, I know that people are saying, well, reducing how much people can get per day is gonna, be beneficial, and then people won't be able to abuse the system. Well, my answer to that is no, because most of the people who are buying Zen aren't people who make their AD by running dungeons. I've run across people who make millions of AD over the course of a day. And yes, it might not necessarily be their own Zen, and that they are generating it with, their own AD. It is with somebody else's. Somebody else is running the content. They are going out and they're making something like in mastercrafting, or they're playing the market or something. Wow. And so what's going on is the people who are making the most amount of money and contributing the most to the Astral Diamond Exchange are not the players that are going out and farming stuff. Yes, there's quite a few of them. Yes, I understand that. But they are not the majority. They are not the norm. Oops. So earlier I said, oh yeah, I could gain some stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave the queue group. All right. So, yeah. Okay, about 7,000. Yeah, I can still get there. Salvage one piece of equipment. Yeah, I'm there. So, there's a lot that's going on with this. And unfortunately, the way it looks is that we will be capping out at 500 again by the end of the week. I mean, I can't count how many times I've logged in and just seen this thing jump. And it's a scary thought when you see it jump. I've seen it all the way up to 499. And that's a scary thought, waking up one day and just finding it there. And when we were looking at that, we have 126,000 available. When you're looking at these numbers, there's less than 250,000 available Zen. Which means that once those are gone, we're going to get a queue of demand, just like it was on PC. And the problem is that that demand is going to go through the roof as we get closer and closer to that sale, and while that sale is going on, because not only will people want to be buying things, but there will also be a variety of people who will, want to create that deprivation, and people who, want to try to buy their VIPs. They'll be starving for the Zen, and that's why it will keep at its pace. Somebody had explained that a while back on PC, and I'm not talking about this year, I'm talking about last year, it took them a few months to get from their 500 AD per Zen demand to go down. And then now it's back up to, I think it was like 17 million the last time I looked. So that was just crazy, having that many people on request for 500. Okay, and that's kind of a big a big problem for any game. Okay, at that point, some people are like, well, if I can't buy my VIP, I'm gonna quit. Or if I can't participate in the sale, I'm just gonna quit. So that's something that not just the player base should be worried about. It's also what the company should be worried about, because then you're losing potential players. And some people might say, well, those are the players that are playing for free. They never buy anything. They're not really contributing in the game. Well, I hate to break it to them. There's a lot of players who don't actually use real money on this game, but contribute to play content. I know people who are really good at what they do in this game, and now imagine losing those really good players for those high-end dungeons. You run into the problem of player scarcity. And when you have player scarcity, that's the beginning of the end. Because what will happen is you might lose half the player base off of this. Because they won't be able to do things that they see other players not having a problem with. They also see it as a problem of, I'm not getting anything out of playing it. Why should I keep playing? And VIP has those really nice things where if you are trying to log into your game with your VIP and getting your daily dungeon key, that is profit from the player's perspective, because they paid into something. They get all the services from VIP, which a lot of people forget about, that all of these things, all the way down to the very first rank, benefit the players because it makes them more money. And it makes it so that they don't have to spend their in-game money or even real money for some of these services. Just looking at the rank 1, you get your enchanted key, you get your epic dungeon key. You get scrolls for identification. Oh, wait, you don't get scrolls of identification at this level. Anyway, but you get the bonus experience, the AD. I keep on forgetting that you get the scrolls, yeah, at rank 2. But then you start gaining teleportation abilities. You get more HP. You know, you get more keys, more scrolls. You get your teleport thing. You can invoke anywhere you want without a problem. You get your mailbox. You get your anvil. You're immune to injuries. You don't have auction posting fees. You don't have. You start getting discounts on your Wondrous Bazaar purchases and your companion training and profession rushing cost. You know, and that keeps going up all the way until you rank 12, which in the end you get your summon your bank, which is ridiculous when you finally look at it. So these are all the benefits that you get, which are nice. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really use this one, but the rest of these are very useful when you need them to be. And that's the problem. If you eliminate people's ability to use those, they lose out on the convenience. When they lose out of the convenience, they're no longer going to have the motivation to play. They're going to go play something else, simple and foremost. I've talked to a few people. They said, well, I'm going to quit MMOs altogether. Other people who say, well, I'm going to switch an MMO. I'm probably going to go to Final Fantasy 14 or, you know, Terra, where basically it's just going to feel like the exact same thing, because Terra has you have to pay for your premium access, which is their VIP version. And that's the problem when you look at this game. If it goes up to 500 and starts getting the queue, you're going to start losing players. They're going to lose interest. And what happens is that even if you manage to fix the problem afterwards, they're going to feel like they're burned. They're going to feel like they have been cheated, because then they lost time in game. Now they've fallen behind. And I know the system is supposed to be put in place to try to gather new players, but the problem is that if you lose half of your experienced player base, I mean, even if you lose like 5% of it, that's a big blow. And on top of that, with their new adjustments in Mod 14, you're barely going to have people running content as is, because you can only really get the benefits of your random queues once per day, per thing that you're doing. So that means if you want to go and do your random regular dungeon, which I know that's not what it's called in Mod 14, you get it on one character and one character only. So that's a big thing. When you're looking at that, you're losing players to play content with. Eventually, people are just going to start making their own clicks. They're going to make their own salvage runs. They're going to try to run other things other than dungeons. They might decide to go out and do campaigns, or they might do more eventful things like Stronghold stuff, like Dragonflight and Marauders and Siege PvP. Or the worst case scenario, they're not going to play at all. And that's a really big problem here, is when you start losing players because they just don't have anything to do, that's when you lose them. And yeah, I understand that this is supposed to garnish towards more casual players, but when you have this problem where the AD exchange is stuck at 500 and you have lost half your player base, this is devastation for the game. Okay? And I want to talk about this because if you are a person who is wanting to succeed in this game, I would say you can either try to make sure that you get VIP ahead of time. I'm going to keep saying it. You're going to want to get VIP, whether it is one of these or if it's one of the packs. Because we have plenty of packs. I don't remember. I think there was one that gave you VIP for a month. There it is. Yeah, you can get this Expedition pack, which I don't recommend it because it's like a lot. But you can still get the VIP. And some people are like, well, VIP is so expensive. Well, imagine not being able to buy it at all. That's the big problem. Until you manage to get up enough to buy it through the Astro Diamond Exchange, or you're willing to put real money into this game. And that is where this will be coming into a big thing. And some people might start calling this a pay-to-win game because the only way to get VIP and other things from the Zen market is through paying real money. And I don't know if that's, Cryptic's plan to boost sales, but it's definitely a problem. And I want everybody to kind of take a step back and look at the game and tell me, is it worth it? Is it worth this scenario? And I don't necessarily encourage people to just up and quit. Okay? That's an individual decision on each person. Okay? But what you need to do is you need to take a look at what you foresee yourself doing in the next few days. Okay? We have this thing bouncing around, and we're seeing this thing diminish really quick. Okay? It's going to go fast. We're running out of time, is what I'm saying, to deal with the problem. And like I said, we're still weeks away from the sale. I don't mean, the sale's going to be here on Friday, which today is Monday, and it's just going to go skyrocket and it's gone. No. We're weeks away from it. We know it's coming. Everybody knows. Now, what would alleviate the entire problem is if there wasn't a sale. I'm just going to point that out to Cryptic. If there was not a sale, this would not be a problem. If there were not a massive number of sales, this would not be a problem. If we had some other ability to, deal with this problem, it would not be a problem. But because we are a player base, we have no control over this, other than to play into the system that Cryptic has put into place. We are playing it exactly as they intended. And unfortunately, as they intended means that regardless of what we do, we are still going to run into the problem of, is this the right thing to do? Okay? Should we sacrifice our own ability to try to make this right and just not buy Zen? And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think so. I think Zen is kind of a big deal. Some people care a lot about it. And I personally like it a lot. Oops, I missed. All right. And you have to ask yourself, what else can I do to ensure that I'm going to play this game? Everybody who plays this game needs to ask themselves this question at one point or another. Do I want to continue playing if this happens? Okay? I'm not saying, oh yeah, you should quit. I'm saying, is it worth it to the point where you will actually be happy? And the simplest answer I have for that is, for some of us, the answer will be, I'm going to stick with this no matter what happens. Other people that are in the situation where maybe they're better off than the most of us. That means if they have tons of Zen or lots of VIP or a combination of the two, or they have a lot of AD to the point where they don't really have to worry about this, they might not care one way or the other. Hell, they might not even run the content. And that's the funny part. Because there are people who don't run dungeons, like I said earlier. There are people who just sit around and they watch the Astro Diamond Exchange. That's all they do when they play this game. Or they do other things like they, maybe they mastercraft and they just sell the stuff that they mastercraft. They don't really do anything. They make a lot of money off of mastercrafting. Maybe they run just guild stuff. I don't know. And it gets ridiculous when you really start thinking about it. I personally want to stay with the game, and I'm pretty sure the majority of people that I know want to stay with the game. But the problem is that if it goes up that high and stays that high, and it depends on how long it stays that high, we may never be able to buy Zen again. That is the problem. So this is just a little bit of speculation and a lot of circumstance based off of people I've talked to. And it's not just a little click or anything like that. I talked to a variety of players from all over the world, and their answers were pretty variable, honestly. Some play it because they like the game. Others play it because they want to engage with other people. Others play it because they're just freaking bored. They have nothing else to play, and this is free to play. Me, on the other hand, I don't know what I would do. There aren't very many games that I want to play. And a lot of it has to play into, like, at one point I did quit this game. I was gone for 4 months. I came back for the Winter Festival. And when it comes down to it, was it worth it coming back? And I say, well, yeah, it was worth it. It killed a lot of time. It helped me vent a little bit. I built my guild all the way up to Guild Hall 20 with the cooperation of everybody in our guild, and I hopefully everybody is happy with the result, but we're still upgrading stuff. So, and the issue that comes in mind here is that AD is the lifeblood of this game, so is Zen. And when you mess with any of them or have a controlling factor, it's the problem. Okay? Now, what I'm going to suggest right at the moment is that Cryptic, if you happen to be watching this, which I doubt that you are, but if you happen to be, take into consideration what your players want. Okay? What you could do to alleviate this situation. Well, my best understanding on how to alleviate the situation is to simply, I hate to say this, get rid of your Astro Diamond Exchange. Okay, I know this sounds really ridiculous, but instead make a system that you put into place where people aren't selling their Zen to try to make a profit. Make a system where you can buy Zen at a flat rate. Okay, that would be the first step. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can, but you don't have to. And that is, I would almost say, try to do something about the Zen market. Okay? I know that there are plans to do something with it, but I don't think it's going to do enough. Okay? There are too many people who rely on it for services. Okay? That may or may not work. That or just simply reduce the amount of sales that you have. Okay? There is no excuse for you to have a key sale twice in a month. And I do mean twice in a month. Because all that does is drive up the price of Zen. And then what it does is it creates a problem where players are left with inflation on the Zen level so that they can't really afford to buy the Zen or as much of it being readily available. And yes, I understand that it probably generates a lot of income for you because people are using real money to buy those keys. But at the same note, it hurts the Zen market. Okay? If you're going to have a sale, you need to get rid of the exchange. Okay? And have it at a flat rate. But if you're going to get rid of the sales, you could probably leave the Astral Diamond exchange intact. Okay? One of these two things is going to work and the other is going to fail if you leave them in place, and which is going to cause the system to break. And I'll be honest with you, I've been here since technically August of 2016, where when I joined, which was I think within the first week of August, Zen was at about 110 to 112 AD per Zen. Through the course of a year and a half, we have gone from 110 to more than 450. Okay? That is ridiculous. And unfortunately, you have done absolutely nothing to subvert it. Okay? And I see that in Mod 14, you're trying to subvert it now, there, but it's the same problem. It's not really worth it to a lot of players. So you need to do something. Okay? And what you're doing is, I'm going to be honest with you, the thing that you would plan to do in Mod 14 has already pissed off a lot of existing players. They aren't happy with what you chose to do, and they definitely said that they don't want any part of it. Mainly because they are concerned that what this is, it's a money grab, is what they're claiming. So, with that in mind, this has been Mune with More Than Peachy's Gaming. Hopefully, this reaches quite a few ears. Hopefully, those at Cryptic, but we are still dealing with the conundrum of the Astral Diamond Exchange. So, again, if you haven't been paying attention on the PS4, this is where it sits. It's bouncing between 497, maybe sometimes 496, and all the way up to 500. And we are still, go pull up the calendar. We are still a ways away from our Protector's Jubilee. 16 days. That's a little over 2 weeks until the supposed sale. Okay? So if you need Zen, get it while you can, is what I'm going to say. But if you don't need it, stay the hell away from it. Because that's the biggest problem. And Cryptic, please keep this in mind. Lay off the sales. This is ridiculous. Have a great day.